Today, we're going to talk about product validation and why a t-shirt business could be a massively bad idea. Hi, I'm Lillian Pearson, and I am a business coach to tech entrepreneurs and aspiring tech entrepreneurs. So thank you for joining me here today. And like I said, we're talking about product validation. We're also talking about your business idea validation for services, products, any sort of offer you want to extend through your business. And so let's start first with why you actually need to validate your ideas, and you can't just go with the first one that, with the first set of ideas that sounds the most exciting to you. Okay, so we're going to go into the details of what's the nature of an entrepreneur, and then more specifically, what is the nature of a tech entrepreneur. So as entrepreneurs, once you get the hang of things, it's very likely that you are going to have a lot of ideas, okay? And that's just part of how it goes when you're an entrepreneur. And it's not necessarily a bad thing if you know how to qualify those ideas and validate those ideas, and then implement them efficiently. Now, and as techies, we tend to be very creative. We love to make things, and also, the tech community, STEM grads, we're all, it's a close-knit community. We share a common bond of having had gone through something that was extremely difficult and working in a tough field, So we have this going on here. But then in terms of negative aspects, entrepreneurs, we tend to get too many ideas, okay? And when we don't validate them, when we act too fast, we end up spreading ourselves way, way too thin. And so you really have to step up and work on mastering mastering the art of doing less more. Okay, and that starts with validating your ideas. So another difficulty with entrepreneurs and being an entrepreneur is a lot of times, unless we have, as CEO, we have less accountability. So when you're kind of the boss, then there's not a lot of people, especially if you haven't taken investor money, you don't have anything over your head holding you to the work you're doing in your business. And so, that's why I find it extremely useful to work with a business coach to kind of hold my feet to the fire on these plans we're implementing. And then in terms of the negative aspects of being a techie, we could overcomplicate a peanut. So just the best ideas are simple ones. And techies also tend to be do-it-yourselfers, which when it comes to building a business, being a do-it-yourselfer is absolute detriment. You do not want to try and do it yourself. You're not going to get very far very fast if you try and do it yourself in a business. So now I'm going to start going into, product validation and, my stories, and then how I'm going to give you 3 easy ways to validate your ideas for your business. In terms of my story, I always validate my ideas. So I just wanted to talk about the t-shirt business that I had for a while there. I didn't do a business. I just did a small test. I validated my idea for a t-shirt business. Why I wanted to start a t-shirt business was because I was on Instagram and it looked like an opportunity to monetize that platform. So I thought, okay, this makes sense. Now, I didn't want to spend too much. It was fun because I'm creative, but I didn't want to spend too much resources. I don't want to be shipping stuff. It was just a test. So what I did was I outsourced everything in this test. And so all of the orders, the fulfillment, the payment platform, everything was done for me. And all I did was come up with a design. So that was part of the test, is just keeping this very, very lean. And what I did was I came up with some designs, branded designs for mugs and t-shirts. And if one of them sold, then it would be $16 a pop. Don't even laugh at me. I'm laughing at myself that I even did this, but it was just a test. I did not actually try and make it into a real business. So All right, so here we are. We've got the mugs, the t-shirts, they're online, and I posted like one or two pictures in these products that I made, and I realized that this is not a very good this is not a very good business idea. It was more just fun for me to actually have made these products and have them in my house with me. Now, what I realized immediately was that there is going to be a continual marketing requirement for this. And the return on investment for that marketing spend, that time and energy that I would have to spend on marketing it was so low. So $16 a pop. It doesn't even make sense. So the other issue with a t-shirt business, if you're thinking of doing it, is the barrier of entry is very, very low. So I always recommend to stay away from any sort of business where barrier of entry is low. And fundamentally, a very fundamental reason why a t-shirt business is a very bad idea for my brand is that it detracts from the credibility of what I'm doing as a consultant, right? So if you're a tech entrepreneur, if you're a techie, you have background in the STEM field, you have a STEM degree, all that stuff, you should be charging, and you're in America or a Western country, you should be charging at least $150 an hour. I try and get my clients to, package up to $300 an hour, right? And so currently I have some projects where I'm able to bill at $2,000 an hour. Okay, so now stepping back to the t-shirt and mugs idea. If I'm out there spending my resources creating content and marketing t-shirts and mugs for $16 a pop, and a client that has a budget and, they're not going to take me seriously as a technical consultant that's worth $1,000, $2,000 an hour, right? Because I'm just demonstrating that I don't have something better to do with my time, right? So and if I did see that there was a tremendous demand in the market, then yeah, that would be something that I would build a team around and not actually do it myself. But there isn't a huge demand in the market for t-shirts because it's a t-shirt business, right? So t-shirt business generally is not a great idea. So I understand why people get into the t-shirt business, because if you're a millennial coder on Instagram, that's a tangible good. Like that is the place where you would go to market tangible goods. And, so it makes sense to sell t-shirts, but it's really a poor use of your time as a technical consultant. This is just my opinion, but I have done it. So at least I've tested it. So I would say I've seen some other people who have done like a long-standing business or revenue stream where they are selling t-shirts and they ship from home. They actually pick up the product and sell it. They market it. And then to me, I think, okay, like if I'm going to invest my energy and time and business into an idea, I want it to have a substantial impact on the lives of others. So I do not know that a business like a t-shirt is actually going to be okay, I'm going to be honest, the t-shirt isn't going to do that. So I don't know what the impact would be. And then the return on investment. So the person I'm thinking, they could easily be billing at $300 an hour. So I just think that that represents a huge loss in earnings potential. And I really, really push people to be careful and test their ideas. So going back to product validation or validating your ideas before you implement them in your business. Now, instead of just continuing on about problems, let me give you some solutions. So what I suggest so you're a tech entrepreneur, you're aspiring tech entrepreneur, you've got lots of ideas going on in your brain about how you could monetize. What I would say before doing anything is just do a brain dump, get all of those fun, fantastic, amazing ideas that you have right now out of your head and onto paper, and then let them go. Clear your brain. And then I encourage you to step back and consider your why. Before even doing any market research, why are you in business? What kind of transformation, what kind of change do you want to help businesses achieve? What's the big picture purpose behind what you're doing in your business? That's super, super important. And staying anchored and tied to that as much as possible is going to get you, is going to be really helpful to you in your decision making, moving forward in your business over long term. Okay, so identify your why, kind of hook in with that, and then start doing some market research. And market research can be very extensive. In my program, I put my clients through the paces in terms of market research, but it's super important for basically setting up your business for success. Choosing the prime area where to actually build out your offerings. So I would say go out there, do the market research, and then identify areas of opportunity. And then once you've done that, reevaluate that list of ideas you had there and see if any of those actually fall into the areas of opportunity. If they do, that's great. Also, then at this time, you'd want to start generating new ideas. For those pockets of opportunity that you found, start thinking about, okay, what sorts of offers can I build, to serve this segment. And then after you've done all this, you pick one idea to test, okay? And you just validate that one idea. So in terms of how to actually validate an idea, I just came up with 3 ones real quick off the top of my head before this call. If you were coming out with a tech course, so you guys are tech entrepreneurs, right? So maybe a coding course or some sort of any sort of course, training program, mentoring program, all of that stuff, you can pre-sell that. So what I mean is that you actually develop just a small portion of the program and maybe an outline, and then you actually market it and generate sales before you produce the product. So that is going to be the best way to make sure that people are actually willing to pay money for what you have to offer, is to do pre-sales. If you're selling physical products, another way to validate your idea for your physical product is to generate mock-ups and then to run ads on those mock-ups and see how the ads convert. And what I would even add on to that idea is just to, when you do get people to click through and it seems like they are interested, I would have on your sales copy, that this is that this product's going to be released, in the next season, and that, give them some sort of incentive, a bonus if they drop their details, so that you can let them know when the product is released. So they give you their email address, because then that will kind of qualify them as not just some random web browser or someone who clicked on an ad, but someone who is seriously interested in acquiring this physical product and are willing to kind of put a little skin in the game by giving you their email address. Now, I've got a third way, and this is especially relevant for tech entrepreneurs. If you have a SaaS company, software as a service, I have had actually someone validated their idea on me, and I'm sure it was extremely helpful to them in figuring out whether or not they should complete the product. But I'm going to just give you the cautionary note before I even tell you what the methodology is. If you use this, be careful. And I would say just be super honest with people. Don't, mislead them. And I'm not going to name any names, but I'm sure this person did get what they wanted here. So you can, for your software as a service offer, you can release a beta, and then you can create the marketing materials around the offer. So what happened to me, and I didn't like it, is that someone came up with an analytics software as a service, and it was extremely robust, and it was just so fascinating for me as a data person. So I really, really wanted to see this product. And so I totally clicked through on the ad. And then in order to validate my level of interest, I had to actually give them my credit card details, and it was expensive. It was $1,500 a month or something, but I got 7 days for free, and I had to give my credit card details in order to get in and to see it. But I wanted to see it, so I gave the credit card details and everything. I was so excited to see this analytics product. And I got in there, and it wasn't even done. It wasn't even okay, so it was 20% done. And then the rest was oh, coming soon. And so I'm sure the person did get, a pretty good understand, like that this is, the product idea is a good product idea. However, what that did was it totally eroded my trust in this individual and their brand. So, and it's irrevocable. So since then, that same person has demonstrated in incredible ways that they're competent, but I still am like, very skeptical of everything that they come out with. And I don't think it's ever going to be repaired because I just couldn't believe that someone would try and like just do that. Right. So I would say some form of this, like if so long as you're completely honest and say that, okay, this is where we're working towards, and maybe not make it a $1,500 charge, but say like, okay, this is the vision and this is where we're at. And, it's a 7-day free trial. And, if you go over, then it's, some sort of nominal fee just to get their credit card, because getting a credit card number is validating someone's interest. You could pull this off in a way that is honest and doesn't lack integrity is what I'm saying. So that is another way to validate your product ideas. If you have a software as a service, that would work, but be careful. Alrighty. All right. So what I would love for you guys to do, I actually am going live on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram right now. What I would love is if you have any questions for me that I could just use. I'm going to be coming live every single day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So I will just, start like going through your questions and get them answered through these live sessions. And I encourage you to show up tomorrow. So no, you're definitely going to want to show up tomorrow because I am going to be dishing the dirt about being a digital nomad. Everyone says, oh, being a digital nomad, so cool. Let me tell you, I did it. I traveled the world. I did the whole nomad thing, like 100%. And there is a much better way to live. If you want to do work and travel and have that exotic lifestyle, I am going to teach you how to do that in a way that is awesome and where you can have a luxurious experience. And I'm going to give you the truth about what being a digital nomad typically looks like. All right, so that will be tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time. You don't want to miss it, and I look forward to seeing you then. Bye. All right, Instagram and Twitter. How do I turn you guys off? Leave your questions for me, though, when you can, okay? So I can get them answered in these live sessions. I don't know. I am still live here, and I don't know how to turn this off.